Hey, everybody! Welcome!
Do we have anybody?
I don't know. We got one, maybe. Maybe it's Katie. Maybe it's not. Whatever. We're here. We're live. And we're not square. I don't know.
Alright, let's do it. You want a countdown?
Wow, you just wanna go into it. You just wanna Katie's here. Katie's watching. Katie's mom will be on later maybe. Yeah. I feel like we haven't done a podcast but we're on normal schedule because we did one 2 weeks ago because it was on Planetariums.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot has happened.
What is
in
time?
2 weeks.
Check out our episode on time. The shot and a full episode on time. Check it out.
I mean, there's a lot that's just.
Check out our episode on Planetariums. Out now. Check out the shot. All of them. Anyway, okay. All right, we can get the party started.
Because we got places to go.
We got places to go. People to be.
People to be?
Yeah, I know.
Are we going to be somebody other than who we are?
No. All right, ready? Are you ready out there? Yeah, you give me a countdown.
All right, we're live in 5, 4.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cosmos with Cosmos. I'm Liz.
I'm Mike.
And Brandon is out enjoying life. He's out enjoying the world.
He's at a party. It's at a birthday party.
Is it for children though?
Yeah,
right?
for like 2-year-olds.
He's enjoying life. And we're here talking about space. And of course, this is another episode of High in the Sky for November of 2024. To prepare you for what's going to be up in the night sky in November and some recent astronomy news that has come out. The show probably gonna be a little bit shorter than some other shows because we have some things to do. We have an appointment to make afterwards for the show. Do we say what it is? Do we leave it in mystery? This won't get in the actual recording of the show, so so Katie already knows this, but we are going to go visit a possible new addition to our little family of animals, and are adding a second cat to our family. So we gotta go meet him again later. We already met him once, but we're meeting him again later. And
Winter wants a playmate.
Yeah, does he though, or do we want to force this on him? I don't know, but
yes to both.
To both.
Because he does such a wonderful job with Poe.
With Katie's cat, he loves her. So we figure, he needs to not be outnumbered by the dogs.
I hope they get along.
I know. We have a nice dynamic with our animals, so fingers crossed we don't just obliterate that dynamic. But it'll be good. So we're excited. So the show will be either normal or it'll be a little bit shorter. It'll probably be a little bit shorter. But anyway, oh wait, this is part of the recorded version. Anyway, what are you drinking?
Well, since we are driving,
Yes, we have someplace to be, so it is a little bit of a different episode where we will not be drinking alcohol this episode because we are law-abiding, responsible people, for the most part.
Canis Asa, it's just cranberry juice. That's all it is.
Yeah, just cranberry
cheers.
Juice. Just cranberry juice. And I am drinking the Hot Young Trojan, which I'll make a reference to later in the episode, and you'll understand why, this is the sober episode.
Yeah, so this is either going to work really well or it's not.
Or you'll just be like, oh, they're just the same sober as they are when they've had a little alcohol in them. Like, maybe I just get cheesier with a little alcohol. I don't know, I'm pretty much same.
Hopefully they'll let us know in the chat.
But this is just like a white tea with, I think, elderflower, white and elderflower tea. So just a nice warm drink on a nice cool fall day, I guess.
It's 70 degrees.
Is it 70 degrees?
It's 70 degrees.
Never mind. I take it. What's happening? Well, I guess that's fall weather.
I don't know, but tomorrow is going to be like 58 with rain.
The seasons are all just having a time. Anyway, by the way, this beautiful mug that I got is from Powell's in Portland. So,
Not a sponsor of the
not a
show.
sponsor, but just check out Powell's in Portland. There's 2 locations. I got this one at the second location, but the other location is great. Anyway, follow us on all the things at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter, Cosmos with Cosmos everywhere else, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, what have you. Of course, check out our episodes of The Shot every other Wednesday. Just little shots of astronomy science.
All right, the next one comes out
on Halloween.
On Halloween,
or the
okay.
day before Halloween. What day's Halloween? 31st. It's either that it's that Wednesday. So if that's Halloween, then it's on Halloween. If not, then
it's the day before.
Okay, the day
Comes out on
before
the 30th.
Halloween, our next shot will be out, and it's an apropos to the holiday, apropos episode.
All right.
Yes. Also, check out some cool stuff by people we know, like Wildixia on Etsy, Wildixia. She's awesome, does great stuff. Yeah, Mr.
Who's she?
I don't know, some artist. Then Mr.
They're so like weird though, artists. Like, oh man, you can't talk to
They're
them.
high maintenance. These
They're
artists.
high maintenance. You can't talk to them at all.
Strange boy.
Everything has to have some sort of really deep meaning. Like, I don't know, eating a hot dog has the.
All right, we got short episodes. Wrap it up. We got Mr. Proctor, MrProctorShow.com. I don't even know if that's a valid link anymore. But anyway, check him out. You can find him on YouTube. And then our good buddy Jack's Planetarium. And Mike's not wrong on me.
You always say Jack Planetarium.
Jack's Planetarium.
Oh, Jack's Planetarium.
The Rolling Bluffs Planetarium.com in Council Bluffs, Iowa, if you're in neck of the woods. But also just anywhere you're at, if you're traveling or wherever you live, just go check out your local planetarium. I'll see them in Phoenix and then go to Mesa. So we have some rules, of course. If you hear any dogs or puppy barks,
You're kind of overcompensating with
take a
the
drink.
alcohol.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's great. It's great. Keep doing. I just think it's funny. It's like you and Katie talking last night.
Okay. We make any Star Wars or Lord of the Rings references. Also, take a drink. Okay, well, are you ready to get high in the sky?
Yeah, I love how you tell me to hurry up when this outlines 18,000
It's
pages.
not. I put like 3 news stories in versus like 10 that I normally do. There's not, November doesn't seem to be there's not a lot, I guess, happening in the night sky. So whatever.
There's a few things.
There's a few things, but let's find out. Let's
do
get
it.
high in the sky. So of course we like to start off with a little constellation highlight, and a fall constellation that's in a region of the sky known as the sea, because there's a lot of water constellations in this area. Water constellations such as Pisces, the fish, or Eridanus, the river, or Cetus, the sea monster, also known as the Kraken.
He looks like a
Hanging
whale.
out there. He looks like a whale. He's basically a whale. I mean, it's basically a whale constellation. But this constellation, this water constellation that we are highlighting, is none other than Aquarius, the water bearer, which was first cataloged by the Greek astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century CE.
A long time ago.
A long time ago. In fact, most of the known constellations, at least in the northern hemisphere, come from Ptolemy. The southern hemisphere, he wasn't in the southern hemisphere, so more of those come a little bit later and are weird stuff like microscopes and telescopes and clocks and shit. Science stuff, exactly. But Aquarius is actually more of a southern constellation, or it's more seen in the south, but it does, because it's a zodiac constellation, it is on the path of the sun across our sky, known as the ecliptic. So basically it's hanging along the equatorial path of the celestial sphere, so we can see it in the north. It is kind of a dim constellation. It's a large constellation, but a dim constellation, so there's not very many like bright stars in it. Its 2 brightest stars are Saddle-Sud and Saddle-Melik.
Sure.
Say
it with confidence.
Most stars have Arabic names, because Arabic astronomers way back in the day were really good about cataloging stars, and so we've kept those names.
Yeah.
Why make up new names for all these stars? Just keep the ones that they have.
Can't wait to talk about naming stuff.
Shh. That's for
Can
the
I take a drink?
future. No, I didn't do.
Okay.
I didn't do that. I didn't. Well, we can if you want to.
Well, I mean,
all right.
doesn't do
Fine.
anything.
Let's start. Let me do it again.
There you go.
Now
take a
we
drink.
take a drink for that Lord of the Rings Smeagol reference. I miss Smeags. Anyway, okay, so these two stars Saddle Sud is Beta Aquarii and Saddle Malik is Alpha Aquarii. But the Beta Aquarii, because that's easier to say, is actually the brightest of the two. They are yellow supergiants.
Which is like, because Alpha's usually the brighter one.
Yeah, Alpha's usually the brighter one. So I had to reread over it a bunch of times to be like, am I misunderstanding something?
But it's like that with Orion as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Rigel is Alpha and Betelgeuse is Beta, and
Is Rigel not brighter than Betelgeuse?
I think Betelgeuse is slightly brighter.
Really?
Or
it's versus. It's the opposite.
Yeah,
so
it's the
okay. So these stars are both G-class supergiants. They're about 5 times more massive than our sun, and 50 times larger, and more than 2,000 times more luminous.
Wow.
And they most likely formed from the same like loose cluster of stars, given that they have very similar compositions and ages and whatnot. Saddle Melik actually means luck of the king, and Saddle Sud means the luck of Lux.
The
luck of Lux.
You're really lucky when you got that going on.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. They're lucky stars, I suppose. Of course, Aquarius.
Thank your lucky stars.
Thank
These
your
are the
luck.
ones. These are the ones.
These are the stars.
But it's a very dumb constellation. But still.
But those are, in the fall, when you look up and you can thank your lucky stars, those are the stars. Those are the two.
Those are the two.
Nice connection. I like that. Of course, there's more in Aquarius than just those two stars. And, there's a whole universe of stuff that's in that direction of space. A whole universe of stuff.
Wow.
A whole universe that's in that direction of space. There are actually many exoplanet systems in Aquarius, such as TRAPPIST-1. The TRAPPIST-1 system, this one's a goodie because out of its 7 exoplanets in the system, 4 of them are within the habitable zone of the star because it's a red dwarf star, and so 4 of them could have liquid water on the surface of them.
Now, before we get all excited, red stars are usually they have a temper. They're a little flary.
So it might not be the best place for life.
No.
But could have liquid water. And where there's liquid water, you never know. There could be some water bears hanging out.
I remember when TRAPPIST-1 was announced and people lost their shit because it still might hold the record for the most planets.
Exoplanets in a system?
Yeah, because it's got 7. And then finding 4 of them in the habitable zone.
That's big.
That's huge.
That's huge. In fact, JPL made these, I don't know if JPL made them or just NASA, whichever, made these like exoplanet like space travel posters that are really fun. You can get them for free. And we made prints of them and put them up. And so TRAPPIST-1 is one of them.
Yeah, it's on our wall.
It's on our wall.
It shows a bunch of them, right? I think it's it's got like a landscape, and then it's got...
I think so. Yeah. So cool. That's hanging out there. You also have some other deep sky objects like Messier 2 or M2.
M2.
This is a globular cluster located at about 37,500 light years from us, and it's one of the largest known globular clusters of its kind. Now, globular clusters, these are kind of like big oblong football-shaped clusters of stars that are predominantly hanging out in the halo of our galaxy, so they're not on the plane or in the spiral arms of our galaxy like where we reside. They're typically older stars. In fact, this Messier 2, it is 175 I must have missed a 0. There's no way it's just 175 light years in diameter. Maybe it is. I guess they are really compact. Okay, so maybe it is 175 light years in diameter. And it's 13 billion years old. How old is the universe, Mike?
13.8.
What?
Billion years old.
So it's almost as old as the universe itself.
Yeah, and that's typically what you find with globular clusters. So yeah, these are some of the oldest stars in the not only in the galaxy but in the entire universe.
So cool. That's so cool. Also is another globular cluster in Aquarius, M72, Messier 72. It's about 54,500 light years away, and it's only 9.5 billion years old.
So it's a youngin.
It's younger. Still real
It's a
fucking
youngin
old,
compared
though.
to the other one.
Now, there are some nebulae in Aquarius. One of them is, which I've seen a picture of this one, but I haven't heard it. Oh my gosh, I totally spent the time to put pictures in. Are you kidding me? Okay, so here's M2. Shit ton of stars.
It is a shit ton
shit
of
ton of
Can you
stars.
imagine? I know I've said this. I say this all the time, but you're on a planet, and going around the star. Let's say this is a planet there's a star that's on kind of the outer edges. Half the year, the sky is just exploding with stars. And then the other half of the year...
There's, like, no stars?
Well, but a big-ass fucking Milky Way galaxy that you're looking at.
What a sight. That would be amazing. Here's M72.
Less stars.
All right, so a little bit less stars. Okay, but these are just beautiful. Okay, so the next one was the Atoms for Peace Nebula.
I want to know where this name came from.
There it is. It looks, it's a black and white image, kind of. It looks like, I guess it looks like an atom. Like how you draw an atom with, like, you have these little army and, like, and the nucleus in the center, and it's that, like, I don't know. Anyway.
Looks like a door handle.
A door handle. If you're just listening to us, you want to see the pictures, you can Google them or watch the YouTube version. Anyway, I'm sorry, this is actually a galaxy, not a nebula. This is a galaxy that's 220 million light years away, and it's actually the product of a galaxy merger. So this is the kind of end stage of this merger that happened between two galaxies a long time ago, and so it has like a single nucleus now, which means it's toward the end. So their nucleus, the central cores of these galaxies have merged together now. And because of this merger, there was a huge burst of star formation that was triggered in the central region. So you have like 500 exceptionally massive and luminous young star clusters that are within it as well. I love galaxy mergers, so I just get real excited.
When the light left this galaxy, dinosaurs were just getting started.
Wow!
220 million years ago. That's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
I also like the little galaxies that are in this picture.
I know, you can see all the little galaxies. All in this image where you see like the stars that have like that cross shape, those are within our galaxy. And it's the when you see the stars that have those little like cross lines to them, that's like a artifact of the telescope itself from taking the pictures. Okay, up next we have the Saturn Nebula, after your favorite planet. This is a planetary nebula. So this is a sun-like star, basically, that ran out of fuel and puffed off its outer layers of gas and dust. And so you can see those layers forming the structure around it.
It did it multiple times.
Yeah, it does it kind of in waves. It's like a
like
a puffing,
you can see them.
a floofing off. Fluffing off. This nebula is between 2,000 and 4,000 light years away, and it's actually one of the brightest planetary nebulae in the sky, which I didn't know.
I realize like measuring stuff is difficult generally, but it's like that's a big range.
I mean, I could have probably looked up another source and gotten a more refined. I think I was using like constellationguide.com or something.
No, but
so.
it's still. I mean, it just means that there's a big, error bar for this.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean but it's such a big range.
Yeah.
I think it's for the shot, but measuring distances is tough. And, and it is really hard to get some of these measurements.
Yeah. The last one is a favorite, I would say. It's a popular one. This is the Helix Nebula, also known as the Eye of God, for obvious reasons. Another planetary nebula, so another what our sun could look like in, 4.5 billion years from now,
Yeah,
5
sure.
billion years from now or so,
won't be
3
around.
billion years from now, whatever. This one is 650 light years away. It's one of the closest and brightest to us here on Earth, and it formed about 10,600 years ago.
Neanderthals and Cro-Magnons could have seen it.
Oh, well, they didn't.
Well, they wouldn't have seen it, but
They didn't have telescopes.
you don't know.
Well, they didn't. So those are some of the deep sky objects that you can find in Aquarius. Obviously, naked eye, not gonna work. You're gonna need some at least an amateur telescope to see at least the nebulae that are in there.
And let's temper some expectations, though. When you look at, say, the Helix Nebula through a telescope, don't expect to see all the colors that were in the picture that we just showed.
Yes, it'll look more black and white, basically.
Yeah, and it's just the way your eyes work, and
We just can't see all the colors.
I well, we can see the colors, but I mean, if we could treat our eyes like a camera and hold the aperture open, then we would eventually be able to see the colors. But
We got low exposure.
the way our eyes work is we have very short exposures, and the aperture's open, and it just pretty much immediately shuts down, sends the signal over to the brain, and so you don't have time for that color to build up, and like you would with film. It's going to be kind of a black and white in your eyes, but still, it's really fucking cool to see, though.
And that was How Your Eyes Work with Mike George, fancy physics man. It is very cool to see. Although sometimes the colors are kind of artificial, where they make the colors a certain color to represent different things in order for scientific purposes, so they can see how much hydrogen, say, is being distributed versus nitrogen and carbon and oxygen and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because generally, people with like Hubble and James Webb, especially with James Webb, because it's not using visual wavelengths anyway.
Yeah.
But so it's all false color anyway. The people that are getting time on like Hubble, they're not making the pictures for pretty.
No, these are for scientific research.
And so
they're professionals.
The colors definitely mean different things.
Yes. Now, of course, with every constellation, there's always a little story that goes behind it, a little mythology behind it. For Aquarius, and the Greeks like to have multiple stories a lot of times on these things, so there's a couple different versions. The one that is most common for Aquarius is associated with Ganymede, the son of King Tros, a young hot Trojan. Hey, there we go. So this beautiful boy. Oh, I don't like. Well, Greeks, but there you go. It caught Zeus's eye.
Let's give him some.
He's
some
20.
Age. Let's say he's 21.
He's 21. It caught Zeus's eye because Zeus likes pretty things. And so what Zeus in a nutshell does is he does what he always does, is disguises himself as an animal, in this case an eagle, and he brought Ganymede, aka kidnapped him, brought him back up to Mountain Olympus, where he then became the cupbearer to the gods, which is a very honorable and prestigious position to have, apparently. Or he just was kidnapped and became a slave to the gods.
Zeus is not a good guy.
He's not great. Not a great role model, Zeus. He's always turning into animals and either raping women or kidnapping children at this point. So,
well, we're going to say he was 21.
yes. Another story, though, the constellation apparently represents, and I've never heard this one, Deucalion, the son of Prometheus, that ended up surviving the Great Flood along with his wife, Pyrrha.
Noah's Flood?
Pyrrha? Well, Noah wouldn't have been around. So, but a great. And it's back. So, yeah, internet decided to just poop out on us. There we go.
So,
all right, yeah. So Jack's, I don't know if we think our internet broke before I said this, but Jack's comment, he was ripped and ribbed for pleasure. Oh, Ganymede. Okay, so a couple other cultures that had, classic internet, classic Oak Ridge internet. The Babylonian myth, this is Aquarius associated with Gula or Great One, or even the god Ea himself.
Is that period supposed to be there, or
Yeah.
So,
In Babylonians, it's like GU.LA. I see that in a lot of Babylonian names where there's like a period in there.
I was just curious.
And so they typically, the Babylonians typically depicted holding an overflowing cup or vase. In Egypt, Aquarius was viewed as Happy, the god of the Nile River. And so they associated this god with the annual flooding of the Nile, and kind of celebrated this androgynous figure as the bringer of fertile soil. Look at that. Egyptians are hit with trans before it became cool.
Yeah, I don't know if trans equates androgynous.
Okay.
But,
well,
but I mean, they were.
They were a they. It was a they.
Yeah,
Happy
it was
was a
definitely
they.
a they.
So that's what I'm saying. And a lot of the ancient cultures, this was the purpose of the sky. It was to keep time and know, when you see this star begin to rise, that means the Nile is going to start flooding, because the seasons and everything were fairly consistent in when things happened around the world. Unlike now where it's a shit show. Anyway...
Yeah.
The rest of the sky. It's not just constellations. Of course, the sky is filled with stars that we can make wonderful patterns out of and have lots of history and mythology behind and all that. But there are other things up there, such as planets.
Planets.
We love to see it. The planets
wanderers.
In the sky. The wanderers. The planetes. Jack in Chat says the period is sometimes a syllable stop where we would where now we would see an apostrophe. Okay, so it's kind of like you do a little pause. I like that.
Meanwhile, when I do it, I just bulldoze right
Gula.
through it. Yeah, there is no pause for me.
Gula. All right, so planets that you can find up in November. Mercury, it'll be an evening planet, but still low on the horizon and hard to spot. On November 15th, it'll be at its greatest elongation, so that means its greatest separation, eastern elongation, so its greatest separation from the sun in the sky as it sets in the west. So you want nothing really on your horizon ever to see Mercury. It's sneaky. It hides. It doesn't like the limelight. It doesn't like to be seen. It just likes to...
Meanwhile, it receives more light than anybody.
That's true, yeah. Because it's so close to the sun. Venus will be up by the end of November. It will be setting 3 hours after sunset.
Oh, nice.
So
easily seen.
You can easily see it, being how bright Venus is. Mars begins rising at midnight on November 1st.
So up all night.
So it'll be up all night and throughout the month.
Midnight.
Well, yeah.
I guess
so. It's not, but it'll be just below the Gemini twins in the sky. Mercury's just shy. He's just a shy boy. Likes to hang out with Dad, the sun. Jupes will be hanging out in Taurus, so you'll be able to find Jupiter throughout the month, and Saturn chilling with our boy Aquarius.
Hey, all right.
November 10th, Saturn and the Moon will be having a little get together, a little meetup in the sky. There'll actually be a conjunction, so the Moon will pass in front of Saturn. Is that what?
The Moon. Well, yes.
Yes. Well, obviously, because Saturn can't pass in front of the Moon.
No.
For very obvious reasons.
We're in trouble.
We're in trouble if Saturn passes in front of the Moon. But with a decent telescope, on November 4th and on November 20th, you can see Titan, Saturn's largest moon, transit over the South Pole or the southern hemisphere of Saturn.
So you want to look online for exact times.
Yes. So if that's something you want to see, but that's kind of.
I wonder
cool.
if anybody's gonna I don't know, stream it, telescope.
I'm sure there's.
Yeah, I bet
people
you
do
can
that.
find something.
An observatory
somewhere.
that's streaming a transit on. They like to stream stuff. You can Google it. Some celestial events upcoming in November. November 3rd. Fall back.
Here in the U.S.
Fall back.
Here in the U.S.
Fall back.
Here in the U.S.
Fall back. I was gonna ask, is it a U.S. thing only?
It's a U.S.
Do
thing.
other places do this?
other
weird ass
places do,
shit?
but they aren't gonna do it on November.
Oh, okay. It's just, that's when we do it. That's when we're weird and have to adjust our clocks for no freaking reason. That's how I feel about it. November 5th, though, we have a full moon. It will be another super moon, which means really nothing visibly to you. Just the moon's a tad bit closer to the Earth, so it looks a tad bit bigger. But it's not. It's not like you're not going to notice that. And this November full moon is known as the Beaver Moon. Beaver Moon. Let any inappropriate jokes you want happen in your own heads. But the Beaver Moon, it's called that because that's when it's the last time to lay beaver traps before the swamps and rivers froze for the year. Because we're still laying beaver trap. No, like this is when beaver trapping happened before we like almost made beavers go extinct because we're greedy. Species. It's also known, though, as the frosty moon or the dark moon. Ooh. Probably because it gets darker earlier.
Yeah, because we bounce back.
Yeah, because we fall back. And, of course, Meteor Shower Watch 2024. That was horrible. The Leonids meteor shower looks like they come from the constellation of Leo the Lion. Leo's just barfing up meteors in November. That's the radiant point. They're not actually coming, obviously, from
Does
Leo.
Leo have two?
Yes, I think there's like a minor Leonids that are in like the southern hemisphere, maybe, or maybe like
no. I mean, if it's going to be called Leonids, then it would have to come from Leo, but.
I guess that's true. I think there's like
constellations got two.
Lyra, I think, has two.
Okay.
Maybe it's Lyra, the Lyrids. Yeah. And that's just because of the comet dust that we're passing through when these things happen. This meteor shower, November 17th and 18th, or when it peaks, so the evening of the 17th, early morning of the 18th. It's not like the brightest meteor shower, upwards of like 15 meteors per hour, but the moon's going to be like a nice thin crescent, so you'll have like very dark skies, which help with visibility. And this meteor shower is caused by dust grains left behind by Comet Tempel-Tuttle. Which is always fun to say, Tempel-Tuttle. So we're just passing through the debris of that comet, and we get a little bit of a light show.
So what you're saying is we have a shot here in Oak Ridge, but it'll be cloudy because it'll be rainy.
It'll probably. But if it's not, yeah, we'd have a shot. Although then we're like, wait, is that a meteor or is that Starlink? You never know these days.
Fuck Starlink.
We were getting coffee yesterday, and I looked at my phone, and it was like available Wi-Fi networks, and it said Starlink, and I was like, these motherfuckers.
But I didn't have.
He didn't have it on his phone. It didn't show up for him. It only showed up for me. So I guess like I don't know, maybe because I got like a Google phone. I don't know.
Oh well, yeah. I think.
All right. Are we ready for some astronomy news?
Yeah, let's do it.
Astronomy news. I was going to say it in like, and now it's time for astronomy news. This one article comes from astronomy.com. A baby Milky Way may have swallowed a dwarf galaxy named Loki. It's a hungry baby. Our galaxy was hungry.
Baby's got to eat.
Our galaxy was hungry as a little tack early in its beginning.
What are we doing?
I don't know. So this is the sober episode. This is what happens. I also get this voice when I'm drunk, though. So
yeah, so nothing really changed.
Nothing's really changing. So a dwarf galaxy that is possibly perhaps about twice the size of the Large Magellanic Cloud, named Loki after the trickster god of Norse mythology, as we all know, Loki, popularized by Marvel, may have merged with our galaxy early on in its history. So researchers, they studied a population of about 20 stars that are currently orbiting in the vicinity of our sun. So They're nearby, and what they found was that these stars have almost no metals in them. And heavy metals, they come from the fusion inside of stars, and it takes many cycles of stellar life and death to build up new metals, to build up metals in new generations of stars. So your younger stars today are going to have more metals than older stars.
Right.
So these stars are going to be older. And half the stars that they observed and studied were orbiting the Milky Way in one direction, but another half of the stars were orbiting in another direction. And whenever you got some funky orbiting happening, that's your smoking gun that basically says, something happened. Something weird happened, that these did not form with the Milky Way galaxy, because they would all be orbiting in the same direction. So something happened, and this.
That's just science, baby.
And so what they found was that there must have been an early merger in our galaxy's history, and it was well before our galaxy developed its own disk of stars that share the same orbital motion.
Cool.
So yeah. You know, you gotta feed the babies. Babies are hungry. You know, they need that food to grow. They need that food to grow. So, you know, and our Milky Way, it's gonna eat the large and small Magellanic Clouds. I mean, it is eating them. But eventually, there will be no large and small Magellanic Clouds.
No, because when Andromeda gets here.
Well, Andromeda's gonna fuck a lot of shit up, but we'll eventually merge with Andromeda. But Andromeda is bigger than us, but we're still relatively in size, so it won't be like a cannibalism of.
Oh no, it's just a merger.
It will still be a merger. So
it's a collision.
It is a collision.
It's a car crash with galaxies.
All right, so the next bit of astronomy news that I found to be fun is from SmithsonianMagazine.com. Astronomers uncover the origin of most of Earth's meteorites shedding light on our solar system's past.
Hey.
Most of the Earth's meteorites. That's, I feel like, just a big claim. But then again, there's not a lot of meteorite evidence on Earth, because our Earth is a dynamic planet with weather systems and water and all these things that kind of like erase the evidence of impacts and hide.
Most of these meteorites just burn up.
They burn up in the atmosphere, and then the pieces that fall to the ground are usually pretty small. You know, if you get a big one, then you've got lots of money on your hands. Anyway, there is about 48.5 tons of meteoritic material that hits our atmosphere daily. And how much material is that in Skittles, Mike?
It is 40 million Skittles.
40 million Skittles hit our atmosphere daily.
Which means you only need 4.8 hours to produce that.
Oh, God, that many Skittles is produced in 4.8 hours?
Yep.
Man.
200 million Skittles in a day.
Wow. Okay. So we're getting hit by shit a lot, basically. But we don't feel most of that. It's really tiny. It gets burnt up in our atmosphere. You know, lots of debris out there. So far, astronomers had only traced the origin of 6% of the more than 70,000 known meteorites. It's maybe too many Skittles. Never too many Skittles. Okay, never too many. And so what they had previously kind of thought was that this material came from the moon, the Mars, and a very large asteroid, Vesta. This 6% that they had studied before came from primarily those three objects. But an international team has now identified the origin of more than 90% of all known meteorites, which is, I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And 70% of those came from 3 asteroid families. Little asteroid families hanging out in the asteroid belt. So what they did is they studied the composition of meteorites found on Earth, and then conducted a telescopic survey of the materials that make up the major asteroid families in the asteroid belt. So they basically looked at what we have, looked at these different asteroid families, and went, okay, what matches, basically? Right. What has the same compositions? And just for a definition of an asteroid family, because I didn't know about the definition of an asteroid family, it is a group of asteroids which have similar orbits because they were fragments created during a collision between two asteroids within the asteroid belt. And that is from Miroslav Broz, an astronomer at Charles University in the Czech Republic, and he is the lead author of these studies that were done. And the three asteroid families that 90% of known meteorites come from are the Charon, Coronis, and Massalia families.
Never heard of those three.
Never heard of them? Well, they must be, unknown, lesser known mob families. No, asteroid mob families. Oh, there we go. Asteroid mob families. There's a sitcom. There's a TV show for you. These were the result of three collisions. So the Charon asteroid family happened 5.8 million years ago. The Coronis asteroid family came about 7.5 million years ago. And then the Massalia family came about 40 million years ago. So, I mean, it's, in universe terms, fairly recent. And so these younger asteroid families, they consist of more asteroid fragments because of their relatively recent formation. And then these pieces collide with each other. And in turn, that can knock off fragments that, hey, guess what? Come here. And that's how we got these asteroids here.
Is constantly trying to kill us.
It's not a great place. So that's what they've been able to deduce, studying the composition of the asteroid families versus what the meteorites that have been found here on Earth. But the only way to really learn more about these asteroids and their families and kind of the early solar system, because asteroids are kind of remnants of the formation of our solar system, is to send space missions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Space missions to asteroids. Let's do it, because as a colleague of ours likes to say, better know an asteroid.
Better know an asteroid.
Better know an asteroid. Okay, last one. Last one.
We're
See,
way ahead of schedule.
See, not a billion pages of notes.
It's close.
It's not close at all. All right. This is from Universe Today. Astronomers solve the mystery of the famed brown dwarf that is too bright. It's twins! Congratulations! There's two. There's two, not one.
Did Mom know there was going to be two?
I don't know. Not just one brown dwarf. What about second brown dwarf? That's great. So in 1995, Caltech researchers at the Institute's Palomar Observatory first observed what appeared to be a brown dwarf orbiting a star known as Gliese 229. This is a red dwarf star. It's about 19 light years from Earth, so fairly nearby. And
that's really close.
Yeah, not too far away. And what was confusing about this was that based on its mass, it should have been brighter than it was. It was too dim. Its luminosity was not where it should be, and so it was very confusing. It was a big mystery for, obviously, since 1995. The study was led by Jerry W. Zwan, a graduate student in Caltech's Department of Astronomy, working with Dimitri Mawet, the David Morrisroe Professor of Astronomy. And the original findings, they actually constituted the first confirmed detection of a brown dwarf. So the original study was huge news when it came out, because brown dwarfs had been hypothesized like 30 years previously, and this was actually the first direct evidence of their existence, in essence. But it was weird. It was not what they thought. And they were like, wait a minute, okay, something is off here. And so Zwan, he said, they basically, with the technology at the time, they just weren't able to probe separations this close until now.
The separation of the two.
Of the two. So with previous technology, it just looked like one object. But of course, as time goes on, we develop our technology more, and we get to learn new things, and we can see more things and understand more things. And so now they were able to resolve the two of them, these two brown dwarfs, individually. And
surprise,
both of them are about 38 and 34 times the mass of Jupiter. The team actually relied on the gravity interferometer that is on ESO's Very Large Telescope, or VLT, in Chile, and they used that device to basically separate out the two objects and see both of them. And they orbit each other with a period of 12 days, and they're separated about 16 times the distance between the Earth and the Moon.
So they're close.
They're close together, and they're just whipping around each other.
Days. It's faster than the Moon goes around us.
Yeah.
And it's
because
closer.
the Moon takes a month.
A month.
How many times have we made that joke on this show?
How many episodes?
It should be
This is episode 120.
Maybe that should be another drinking rules. How many times we make a month joke?
I would say we've done it at least 60 times.
At least 60 times. Okay.
That doesn't include shots.
That's true. That's true. So there you have it. So this mysterious, this first discovered brown dwarf is actually two brown dwarfs.
So they found two.
They found two.
They didn't know it. They found two.
And the importance of the brown dwarfs and discovery of it is that a brown dwarf is basically, it was like an almost star, but not quite a Jupiter. It's
bigger than Jupiter.
It's bigger than Jupiter. It's like if Jupiter, if it was like what if Jupiter had gotten like 80 times more massive, it could have become a star. But so these objects, they just didn't get quite massive enough to begin nuclear fusion in their cores to become,
right.
but they're too big to be like
Jupiters.
a Jupiter type planet. And so these objects, they're like star-like objects. They're kind of provide the missing link between these gas giants and stars. Basically. Almost stars. So close, buddies. You guys were just so close. You just need a little bit more mass.
They starred in B films.
Just didn't get quite to a star level.
Yeah.
All right. So our last section that we have today is just a quick in memoriam. We do like to celebrate some lives that have left us in the field and too soon. But this is a special in memoriam. And this memoriam hits a little too close to home. And so this in memoriam is to Asa, the best boy, the best dog, the best ever to ever have been
he
on
was.
this planet.
He was a great one.
We said goodbye to Asa yesterday. He lived a very long and happy and loved life. And so he decided to go and hang out with Luke and Lucy and
all the others.
And Oreo, all the others up there. So cheers to Asa, the best boy.
Well, okay.
I know I didn't tap the. I know. But we'll say cheers to possibly new family member in the Davis and George household coming soon, maybe.
And Brandon.
And that's his news. That's his news. We'll let his news share. Yes, the bestest boy, Kate.
All right. So next time in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, join us for the naming of the universe.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
we're gonna talk about the election is coming up. We'll have a hangover. I'm sure we'll get on a little bit of a soapbox in the hangover, but we thought it would be apropos. Maybe the second time I've used that word today. It's happening. To talk about how, like, stars and the shit in space, like, get named. And the process, the election process for that and everything. Because, you can't... I hate to break it to you, but if you ever, like, bought a star and named it, it's not really. You didn't really get to name that star.
You don't get to
Sorry,
do that.
but there's a whole
Oh, God, I'm sure
International
we'll end up
Astronomical
talking.
Union that gets to name all the stuff. So we will talk about that in 2 weeks. So join us then. Follow us, of course, on all the things at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter, Cosmos of Cosmos everywhere else, Spotify, YouTube. Check out our little shorts called The Shot, out every other Wednesday. And of course, you can join us for The Hangover on YouTube and following this episode. So
Go vote.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hey everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome
To Cat Talk
on The Hangover with Cosmos
with Liz and Mike here on your local NPR station.
We're talking
Today,
cats. What are they?
How are they?
Where are they?
When are they? What are they?
What are they?
Why are they?
Why? That's the one I was looking for. I was like, wait, there's one. There's not. What? Why? Welcome to The Hangover, everybody, here on Cosmos, where we're not drunk this time or buzzed as we normally would be.
Go see a cat.
So a sober hangover, if you will. If you checked out the main episode, it was a high in the sky for November. So lots of cool stuff you can find up in the November night sky and some astronomy news that was fun. So you can check that out on your Spotify's or your Apple Podcasts or your YouTube.
Just where you get everything.
Or just join us here on YouTube, which is where you can only see the hangovers. You can only see them on YouTube. They're nowhere else.
You should move it to like Patreon or something.
No, we don't have
We can get like
to...
and what we charge a nickel.
A nickel. 1 nickel. 5 cents. 5 cents. Remember when things used to cost a nickel? I don't, because...
Oh, my mom would tell me how she used to go down to a store and could get a Coke and a Snickers bar, each costing like a nickel.
Man.
She just turned 80. So that was like back in the day.
That's how long ago that was then, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
well, it was in the 50s.
I mean, it's nice. It sounds nice. But, inflation's a way of life, I guess.
Yeah, but wages don't keep up with it.
Yeah. here on Cat Talk with Cosmos and the Hangover, we are planning on getting a cat. We're excited. We have a cat, so that's gonna be interesting. And Jack sent me a reel on Instagram, so I'm gonna be for the Beaver Moon, Jack.
When are we?
Oh, from the Great British Baking Show. A boozy beaver. A beaver cake. I remember watching that episode.
Boozy beaver.
Boozy beaver. Oh, that would have been a great drink name. The Boozy Beaver. If we had alcohol in it, it's Boozy Beaver.
Oh my gosh! All right, it's just
I kind of
drinks now.
I kind of want that to be my Halloween. I kind of want that to be my Halloween costume now. Boozy Beaver. Anyway.
Well, you can't really take Boozy Beaver down to trunk or treat.
Well, I don't know. Could look like a nice little beaver on the outside, but anyway, okay. We're getting a cat, or we're looking at cats. We might get another cat, so we're excited. Now,
approved, right?
We were approved to get a cat, but
okay.
Yeah. So we figured a companion for winter. Our current cat, he loves our sister's cat, so he's not going to be outnumbered by the dogs. Now we have some names. Let's do a little poll on the names, even though you don't know what this cat looks like or its personality. Here are our top names.
Should tell them what it looks like.
Well, if we get the cat that we're going to look at, it's a black cat. That's all you need to know.
Name number 1, Morgoth.
Morgoth. Yeah. Okay. Morgoth. Another name we're thinking of is its current name is Jones. And so Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm. Which we could do Indy. Jonesy.
There's and Jonesy was the cat's name in the movie Alien and Aliens. So
Jonesy or Jones?
Well, it was Jones and nicknamed Jonesy, but it was like an orange tabby. So, but it did survive the xenomorphs, so that's a plus. Because we did contemplate Schrodinger, but then I was like, no, but when we don't see him, we don't want to think about that he's not alive. So while cute, ultimately no. So what do we say? Indiana Jones, Morgoth, Indiana. And okay, so we just had a little internet hiccup, which is a classic. Burnt toast. Now, we did meet a cat. We were at the Planetarium conference, and the Airbnb we were staying at, a stray black cat decided to come by and hang out because it knew it was an Airbnb and would get lots of free food, and it was very social, and we named that cat Sagittarius A-star. Mm-hmm. So that is a possibility, Sagittarius A-star, which is named after the black hole in the center of our galaxy, or is the name of the black hole in the center of our galaxy. And then we were also thinking things, there's what else?
There's Boba Cat.
Oh yes, Boba Cat. Lando Calrissian.
Yep. And then Muon.
Muon.
All right, so those
are the kind of what we've been brainstorming so far. So, think about those, let them digest, throw out what you like or further options.
Throw in the chat.
And then we'll see.
But maybe in 2 weeks we might have this cat sitting on our laps.
It is a kitten. It's a little less than a year old, so it's not gonna hide away like Winter does. He just goes and sleeps when we do this.
No, it's gonna jump up and attack the microphone.
That'd be funny.
That'd be
fun. Then it'll be a new drinking rule. New drinking rule whenever the cat attack comes into
we're just
scene.
Black.
Just mass, just appearing.
Takes out the microphone. Anyway. And, of course, the dogs just lie there while it happens.
Well, let's hope so, because we would like them not to be too reactive to the cat.
Yeah, and then just take out it's Jack.
Jack's doing a little puppy dreaming.
Puppy dreaming. He's barking at something. He's probably barking at FedEx guy.
Probably. So anyway, those are that's the most recent, I guess, life news and interesting news that we got going on. Is that
I mean, we've had so much going on the past couple of weeks.
yes, we have. We went to Planetarium conference. That was really fun. The Digistar users group. So it's a yearly meeting of people who use the Digistar Planetarium software. We get together. We share ideas. We share the shit that we've made. Jack likes Morgoth. Ooh, but do we want him to be evil?
Well, we can always change the name. Name him like Indy, and then if he's just
Indy Morgoth Jones.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah, so that was fun. We got to, check out our episode on planetariums because we did it live from there. The audio's a little crappy, but that's just because we don't have a mixing board or any professional audio setup in that situation.
Joe Eakin was our special guest, and then Michael McConville came in.
We had the IPS president and the
a past Digistar users group president.
McConville? Oh, Joe Eakin.
Yeah.
Eakin, yeah. Joe's a good guy. Joe's the best guy. Anyway, Joe, if you're watching, you're a good guy.
Chances are he's not watching.
No, I know. If you watch this in the future, we enjoyed having you on the show. It was lots of fun talking about planetarium stories and everything like that because it's a fun group of people. You know, these space nerds. It's just space nerds, just being nerdy over space and stuff. And I mean, come on.
Nerdy over space.
Space and stuff. Yeah. Ironically, no space animal names, other than Sagittarius A*, I guess, is as an option. But as far as like none of the animals are named after space things.
Oh, for our thing, yeah. No, you have particle physics in there, and then you got Lord of the Rings.
That's true. Yeah.
But that's how we typically do it.
That's true. Yeah.
I still think we ought to get Four Fish and name them after the hobbits.
My suggestion was we already have 2 black animals, so we just need 7. If we have 7 more, they can all be the ring wraiths. And we can dress them up in little hoods.
Wait a minute, hold on. We have 2, yeah. Okay, yeah, we need 7
I did
more.
the math correctly.
Well, no, you did.
Did you see me pause while I tried to do it in my head?
But in my head, I was like, okay, we really have 3 because we're going to have this cat that comes in. And, you know.
Yeah.
But we can maybe get a little outfit for winter. So
just put a hoodie on him. He can be an honorary ring wraith.
But we have Poe.
Oh well, Poe is a true ring wraith.
Really,
Poe really. She's the leader of the ring wraiths.
He's the king.
So we love Poe. Anyway, yeah. So
he's not a terror. I mean, she's not a terror.
She's not a terror.
She's a sweet cat.
She is. She's a love. So yeah, Planetarium conference. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah, you know,
that was
fun. I always say it. Planetarium folks are some of the most creative people you'll ever meet. They make and do cool shit. And it's always great to go to a conference and see what they're doing, see what they're making, and
get ideas.
Get ideas
and inspiration.
We have a list that's 12 miles long.
Of ideas now of things we want to produce for the planetarium. That I'm like, it's overwhelming now. But now I gotta find the energy and the time to do it. But it's
I want to make Astro Wordle,
yes. But that didn't come from the conference. That came from
but it's on
an
the
idea
list.
I had. Wordle for the dome.
Yeah, as we were getting coffee.
Wordomal? No, it doesn't work. We can't. Wordle's copyrighted, so we have to think of a different. I'm sure it's copyrighted. We got to think of a different name for it. But yeah, so that's one of the things. Wordle for the dome.
I will work on it when I'm supposed to be doing work.
There you go.
I won't.
Hey, it's building up your JavaScript skills.
Yeah, because you definitely need
it's
JavaScript
professional
for it.
development.
You definitely need JavaScript for it. So.
Yeah. What else is happening? What else is coming up? What else we got going on? What else is interesting?
Well, the conference just ate up my life for like a month.
But what we did get to kind of see the comet
Sure.
Techlon.
The 80,000 year comet.
Yes, the 80,000 year comet. Everybody was astral. There we go. You've probably seen the news. We talked about the comet on our last High in the Sky.
Sure.
Yes, I believe we did. And we did. We went out. Just a bunch of us planetarians just looking at the sky, and we could kind of see it with your naked eye. It was very faint. I ended up.
You saw it with your elven eyes.
Yeah, I ended up kind of seeing it. It was like you had to look at it kind of not directly at it, but out of the corner of your eye, and I could see like a slight little puff, basically, and only because I finally knew where to look, but then at the same time, I'm like, am I seeing it, or is my brain just, like, gaslighting me?
I saw it through binoculars and then through Martin's camera.
Yes, I saw it through, somebody had a little telescope out, and so I ended up seeing it through a telescope. So that was pretty cool. We missed the aurora that had happened. We were too lazy and also under the influence to drive 25 minutes out of Salt Lake City to see the aurora. But some people that were there ended up going to see it and getting some cool shots of it. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of like, oh man, I kind of wish we did it, but at the same time, we were also tired.
We also didn't have a car, and
yeah, that was in
people we were with and started having drinks, and
yeah, it didn't work out for us. But Martin, it's getting dimmer, so it's gonna be binoculars for the most part. I think binoculars only.
I noticed that your parents had a bunch of binoculars.
Yeah, my parents got out their binoculars, and they were trying to go out to see it,
but their Western is just...
Yeah, they had too much stuff around on their horizon, so it was
but I mean, the Western is like a hill for them.
Yeah,
but also you break out the binoculars, and the neighbors will be like, "Why are you looking in our house with binoculars?"
So I think if they had driven out maybe onto the...
Driven? Is it driven or
It's driven. Yeah. They've driven out. Look, I talk how I talk. If they drove out, maybe onto like the hill or something, maybe they could have gotten it.
Yeah, because you can get where, at least in Bend, where you have a decent Western.
Yeah, where you are.
Because it's pretty flat, except for the volcanoes that pop up every once in a while.
Yeah, those damn volcanoes popping up every once in a while.
Which I learned yesterday that, I don't know, some earthquake can make them really pop off. So, your sister's got me all worried. It's just another kernel of, worry that I now have to have.
Well, the rumblings of the earth and volcanoes kind of go hand in hand. It can make things unstable and make them go... Mm-hmm. So all the ones around in Oregon are just, like, ready to...
Apparently, according to your sister, are just going to explode and... We're all going to
Well, I mean, we plan to die by jumping in a volcano anyway, so, I mean, we'll just get a head start. Yeah, but that's us
jumping into it. It's not them just like...
Well, you don't want to have a Dante's Inferno adventure where...
we should be fine.
We should be fine. Should be. Mostly. By the way, Dante's Inferno, that's a great movie.
Did you want to watch
it? I could go for a rewatch of Dante's Inferno at some point.
Well,
I always enjoyed that.
Let's do it tonight.
I always enjoyed that movie.
We ain't got nothing going on.
No, it's horror movie season. I mean, I guess it's not a horror movie, but no, we gotta focus on the horror movies. We gotta focus on horror movies. Speaking of horror movies, we watched the new Beetlejuice. I loved it as a fan of the original.
You say that as if I did not.
Well...
I loved it. This guy over here didn't.
I'm not going to speak for you.
No, I really liked it.
But yeah, it was very tongue in cheek and very cheesy, and I loved it.
Like Michael Keaton just didn't didn't miss a beat.
No. So that was fun. And we watched Salem's Lot, the remake of Salem's Lot. We could watch the original Salem's Lot because that's also on Max, I believe, in the 1979 version or whatever.
Well, let's watch the other horror movies that we have on the list.
We don't really have a list of them. It's just like watch horror movies because I love horror movies. And that's why I'm afraid of the dark. Because even though I'm a logical person, my brain just likes to mess with me. Are you bringing Jackie up? Oh, Jackie! So Captain Jack Sparrow has enjoyed joining the Hangover now with us. Special guest, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Where were you going, buddy?
What are your thoughts, Jack, on
Beetlejuice?
On Beetlejuice. Did you enjoy it?
Loved it.
Were you sleeping the whole time?
I was sleeping the whole time.
Were you sleeping under a blanket the whole time? Yeah?
Did you just burp into the show?
No, he didn't burp. He did kind of like he's just like tolerating his existence right now because we feed him. So he's like, okay, I'll just sit here and just look so annoyed at my life.
All right, I'll let you go do whatever it is that you were going to do.
Such a good boy.
And I guess he's just going to go lay back down.
Go back. He made the mistake of walking over here. He's like, I will not walk past there again when that's happening. Anyway, so horror movies on the docket since it is still... This episode will go up before... This episode will go up... Oh, no, this episode will go up after Halloween. This Hangover, I should say, will go up after Halloween. So Halloween would have already happened. And no more horror movies.
Is it going to go up for the election?
It will go up before the election.
So vote, everybody.
So vote.
And vote blue.
Don't vote for Trump. Oh, God.
Do not vote for Trump.
God. Anyway.
Please don't vote for Trump.
Oh, jeez. It's...
And if you're considering voting for Trump, just please don't.
Look, here's an idea. Okay, watch The Handmaid's Tale. And if it makes you uncomfortable and you don't like what's happening, there's your answer on who you should vote for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We recently listened to, because we like to listen to podcasts when we're driving to my parents or going on long drives. And so we listened to, one of them is the Dollop, shameless promotion for the Dollop, I guess, podcast, which is a fun comedic history podcast. And they have a two-parter on J.D. Vance, which is interesting, worth a listen, because it's sad.
I mean, I wish
irritating.
Everybody could write their origin story.
Be nice. What would your origin story be?
I don't know.
I don't know. He
crafted his origin story so that he could be where he is right now. And it's he embellished. There's no 13-year-old working at a grocery store that is an amateur sociologist. And so 13-year-olds don't care about that shit. And he just embellished. And it was all crafted so that he could be where he is today, and that's all well and good. But it's so transparent.
Yeah, unlike you. I mean, you grew up kind of in the desolation, working on the wind farms or the sand farms on Tatooine, and you.
I was wondering where you're going with this.
Yeah, that's where I was trying. That's where I was trying to go
so,
with it. Until you met that guy, that hermit guy, and he just took you out into the cosmos and expanded your world, and that's how you became Fancy Physics Man.
I wonder. It would be great if somebody wrote like an origin story, but it's just all based on Luke Skywalker. But
I'm sure. But try to like play it off as.
But play it off, I grew up on a farm in Kansas.
Yes.
And, blah blah blah. But there's this hermit dude, weird uncle guy, and he'd come by, and he gave me a sword one time, and
and then you found this letter hidden in a Roomba.
yeah. And then we went to Topeka, and it was a vile
hive of
villain. Yeah. Or maybe like I do mine as like Gandalf, just somehow play it off as Gandalf. And it'd be great just to see what people would do. That is amateur sociology right there.
That's an interesting
not
experiment. What would people
boy.
do? Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I think we go look at a cat.
I know yeah. I'm proud of you for not getting too much on a soapbox. That I'm really going for it.
No, I mean at this point,
everything's said that can be said, and
I am talking to an audience of like-minded people.
True.
And I do not understand anybody who is undecided. I just don't. What is going through your head to where you are undecided? I don't understand why it is a 50-50 race.
I don't know.
So I will be taking November 6th off, and I'll either be sort of celebrating.
I will busy myself with work until the evening, when we then just are like, you know what, it's a weekday, but maybe this weekday we'll have some drinks.
What did you say this was? This is my Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. Well, you say it's your Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, or I guess it's more of like a World Cup, since it's every 4 years.
That's true. That's true. Because this is your jam. You're like you like the politics. It's your sports.
The politics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be up. I'll be keeping track of all the races, senators, House people, governors, all of it.
Jack got called away by a door-to-door Politico. He said, "Dang, you live here? How are you doing? Why is it so surprising that where you live, Jack?"
Dang, you live here.
Okay. We had my parents got a political flyer left on their door while we were there. It was I got a call for a survey, and that was a legitimate survey that asked me a bunch of questions on voting.
Were they like a Republican? It seemed like
it was like the Oregon voting something or whatever. It was
it was
like it was a state, or it was like an official kind of a survey.
I want to know who were expecting to answer the door at Jack's.
I don't know.
Like Elon Musk or something? I mean, what were they expecting?
Oh, he's a friend. He's a friend. He likes my friend. Okay. That's funny.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. But that person, like at your parents, they just dropped off a thing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we were prepared for a doorbell ring. We rushed the dogs outside.
We did.
We're like, oh God.
And then she just kind of walked away.
And yeah, it was a non-starter. In fact, they had the pest control guy over, and every time the pest control guy walked by a window, our dog Jack was not looking, and every time, because he would walk by, and Jack was not looking, and I was like, oh my God, we just dodged chaos. Each of these times he was not. He saw him when he came, when he first arrived, and went crazy, but.
Well, it's because he wasn't FedEx.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the squeaking of the truck brakes.
Well, but you know what's crazy is like we'll be on a walk and FedEx or UPS goes past us and he doesn't. That's true.
He doesn't. He doesn't really. Oh, he's his Democratic rep and Planetarium patron. Oh, you know what? I like that he goes to the Planetarium. You know.
That's because the Democrats are smart.
Are they? I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. He could be a lot smarter.
We could be a lot smarter.
Could be a lot smarter. And maybe just a tad more cutthroat. I'm just saying.
I would like for us to be freaking cutthroat.
Fight a little bit more fire with fire.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
Anyway.
more people need to, I think, go to a planetarium.
They do.
I feel like a lot of times planetariums are relegated to when you're a child, and going on like a field trip or something, and you don't go as often as like an adult unless you're already like interested, or you happen to are taking your kid to a science center or something and see there's a planetarium, then do a planetarium show or whatever, But I think it's beneficial for like I don't know, just like
I only see commercials when we go to your parents.
Yeah.
Because
we don't.
I
have
pay
cable.
the extra bucks to not have commercials. Damn you, Amazon. Anyway, there was a Granger commercial, and I used to work for Granger. But
I've seen that commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, but the planetarium.
Yeah.
With the big fucking moon in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was great. They.
Well, you gotta enlarge the moon a little bit in the dome, otherwise it's too small.
That was very true.
Otherwise it's like, oh, and this isn't. You gotta give a little bit of a not to scale.
I wonder where they filmed it.
Oh yeah.
Because it was in a dome.
It's probably at like Hayden or something, like some I don't know.
Yeah, L.A.
Yeah.
I mean, it did look like a flat dome.
It was a flat dome. Oh,
so,
Griffith, maybe.
Griffith. Well, Hayden is flat.
Is Hayden flat?
Also Charles Hayden in Boston is flat. Adler, I think, has a tilt. I think, but it did look flat.
They have 2 domes though.
They do have 2 domes.
So.
But it did look flat.
It was probably like Griffith, since it's commercial
LA.
LA and everything. So
I wanna build a little dome. I have it on my phone, like where you can find instructions.
Oh, to build a little dome. Yeah, when you want to see the picture of the universe, life size, go to a planetarium.
Cool.
Yeah, we can build a dome. Oh, in fact, somebody at the conference, I was talking about how I had looked up like, there's like plans online with using PVC pipe or whatever to like build a dome, and he was like, really? And he was like, I like building stuff. He's like, I'm gonna look into this. He's like, I'll make sure to give you credit, but I'm gonna look into this because I like
from Spartanburg.
And I was like, okay. I was like, cool. Well, keep me posted if you do it.
Mr. Clemson.
Because I don't have building skills, but something to look into that we could try and.
But we have to be able to take it apart to store it.
Yeah, or we build a shed around it, and then it's, into our go to origami dome is pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to Google that because I don't know what that is.
Well, a lot of the plans are cardboard.
Yes, you can do cardboard, and then you can use like binder clips or whatever to then clip it together. What are words? Clip it together.
It'd be really cool to like do something like that, but because it makes it portable, right?
That's true, but
then
how much time
take it down to Oak Ridge.
Oh yeah, it's a geodesic dome is what is
So everybody can look it up on your phone. So
everybody can make their own dome, their own planetarium. But then you just need some software and a projector and a fisheye lens to put anything on that planetarium.
Details.
Or those old canisters where it's like has the cutouts and you put the light in it and it just like spins or whatever.
What's the name of those? Yes, we used to have one at Science Center.
Yeah, that are usually with like the older portable.
And then we
inflatable
replaced
domes.
it with a Digistar version.
Yeah. Or maybe one of those little. I mean, they have those pretty good astro projectors nowadays. That might be able to do something. I don't know. Starlab. Yeah,
I remember taking the little thing off,
it.
putting another one on, and it was all held on by magnets. So
that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's call it.
All right. So,
we gotta go get a cat.
Well, we're gonna go see
the cat
and play with the cat, and then get some cat supplies.
Jonesy's coming home with me today. If we get there early, we can go ahead and get the supplies. We're going to get those anyway. Anyway, join us in 2 weeks where we will be talking about how we name shit.
The naming of the universe.
Yeah. How many cats does Jack have? Jack has, like, some cats. He's got a bunch of cats. Anyway.
All the cats.
Okay, yes, we will send pics. So join us in 2 weeks. Follow us on all the things. Check out the shot. And of course, you only have one cat. Why did I think he had more?
He's not a childless cat lady.
And vote. Cheers. Cheers, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm closing it. I'm ending it. I pressed the button I didn't mean to press. Oh, look at us. I'm still ending it. I got to get the mouse over. Oh, it's got to go the opposite way. And
cheers.
Bye.
We're professionals.